Have I been lying to you the whole time? Is it all just a pack of lies? Well, sort of and sort of not. Up until now, we've really been hammering home the fact that in a normal sentence, the verb is always in that second position. It's a rule that we've gotten, I think, pretty comfortable with, but too comfortable maybe. Grüß Gott, hallo, schönen guten Tag, ich bin Billy Badger und das ist Bausteine 2. Herzlich willkommen. So yes, in a normal German sentence, we know that the verb, if we're using just one, sticks pretty stubbornly to that second position. It doesn't really matter what we write or say in the first position as long as our verb is in that second spot in our sentences. We can join sentences together with conjunctions and the verb still stays in that second spot. But these were, of course, a special set of conjunctions, ones that didn't rock the boat, ones that didn't cause chaos in our sentences. And today, I want to introduce to you a set of words that link our ideas and sentences together, but mess with the verb position. Now, there's a lot of these, and we'll meet some more, of course, in a later video when we look at relative pronouns. But there's lots more than we've really got time to think about today. So what we're going to do is have a look at just, I think, 3 of them. These ones. Weil, das und wenn. Let me show you first of all what all of the fuss is about. We'll start with probably, I'd say, the most common one, weil. Up until now, we've used the conjunction denn to give reasons for things. Like, for example, maybe Christine braucht die Stirnlampe, denn es ist abends sehr dunkel. Here you can see that with denn, our verb is in the second position, right where it's supposed to be. But stand back, put on your safety goggles, because if we use weil instead, which means more or less the same thing, look at what happens. Here it comes. And wow! Did you see that? Let me slow it down for you. And it doesn't matter which one of these conjunctions that we use, it will always repel the verb. It will always send it hurtling off to the end of the sentence. It's almost as if our verbs are allergic to the conjunction. In these sorts of sentences, ones following a conjunction like weil, the verb that's normally in that second position will be right over there at the end of the sentence. So in our previous example, we would end up with something like Christine braucht die Stirnlampe, weil es abends sehr dunkel ist. Let's look at some more examples where we give reasons for things. Christine hat eine neue Kamera, weil sie sehr gerne Fotos macht. Again, there's our verb macht right at the end of the sentence. Well, here's Christine again. Christine hat Flugtickets, weil sie bald nach Österreich fliegt. You see that following the conjunction weil, there isn't a verb until we get to the very end of the sentence. And even though maybe to you it seems a little bit improbable, this is the form of because that we're most likely to use in German. Now, the good thing is that exactly the same thing happens with our second conjunction, das. And to be fair, I think this is a bit of an odd one, so it'll need some kind of explanation. And I think the easiest way to show you how this is used is to give you a simpler example. Ich habe die Milch vergessen. Now, there's nothing complicated going on here. I've just forgotten something. The milk. That's our direct object, the thing I forgot. But if the thing that I forgot was a whole sentence instead, then we need to introduce this sentence with the conjunction das. Ich habe vergessen das. Now, here comes the thing that I forgot to do with the verb at the end.
Hast du die Milch?
Oh. Ich habe vergessen, dass ich Milch kaufen musste. Got that I had to buy milk. Let's use it in a different way. I can use it with ich hoffe, to talk about things I hope for. ich hoffe, dass am Wochenende das Wetter schön ist. Oder ich habe den Fotoapparat fallen lassen. Ich hoffe, dass er nicht kaputt ist. So again, you see, the verb is right over there at the end of the sentence. Now I can use it too for things I know, or maybe things I don't know. Ich habe nicht gewusst, dass es jetzt schon so spät ist. Here the thing I didn't know is a whole sentence. I didn't know it was already so late. Or Christine hat nicht gewusst, dass wir eigentlich schon ziemlich viel Milch haben.
Oh, ich habe nicht gewusst, dass wir so viel Milch haben.
And of course, we can use this conjunction das in lots more ways. And here are some suggestions to check out while we move on to our next conjunction, wenn. Now, this is one I think that gets people a bit confused because it means when. And perhaps you already know a few words for when, like wann or maybe als. Wann is only ever used for questions where we expect a time answer. And als is generally used for talking about one-off events in the past, whereas wenn conveys more the idea of whenever. And this can be used in the past or the present, just as you like. Some examples? Yeah. Ich trinke gern Tee, wenn ich zu Hause arbeite. And by now we're familiar with the verb in this spot at the end of the sentence. Here I'm presenting the idea of something that I do fairly often. I drink tea when I work at home. Or maybe wir rollen gern in die Stadt, wenn wir abends Zeit haben. Or perhaps Christine geht jeden Tag laufen, wenn sie früh genug aufsteht. At this point, it might be worth showing you that the same thing happens when we use modal verbs. It's just as easy. Wir gehen am Strand, wenn wir uns entspannen wollen. Here you'll see our verbs stacked up at the end of the sentence, but in reality, all that's happening is that the verb that's normally in the second spot, and this would of course be the modal verb, goes to the end, and the other one, the action verb, just stays where it is. So in reality, there's nothing different happening at all when we use a modal verb. And this is a really common structure of the German language. So keep an eye out for other situations in which you notice that the verb is over there at the end of the sentence, not in that second spot. And generally it's going to be because it's following some kind of conjunction or a relative pronoun, which of course we'll talk about more in a week or two. In the meantime, there are a few other conjunctions like these ones that work much the same way. Obwohl, da, als, or ob. But start practicing with the ones that we looked at today. And remember, of course, that there's heaps more information in your textbook Bausteine 2. So I recommend you check out the examples in there, do some of the exercises in your textbook, and there is a good chance you'll be an expert in no time. Also das war's dann für heute und auch für dieses Video. Ich wünsche Ihnen eine schöne Woche und weiterhin viel Spaß mit der deutschen Sprache. Und wenn Sie Fragen haben, melden Sie sich einfach. Ja? Have a great week, and if you have any questions, just get in touch, drop a comment down below. Ich würde mich freuen. See you next time. Auf Wiedersehen und tschüss. Sehr gut. Das war's zum zweiten Mal.